Nobody gets a Belgian Malinois thinking they'll fail. You don't bring home a dog like this expecting to feel overwhelmed, exhausted, or like you made the wrong decision. But it happens, a lot. More than people talk about. In fact, most Malinois owners, especially first-timers, hit a wall. Somewhere between the puppy bite marks and the shredded furniture. Between the chaos in the backyard and the howling at midnight. They ask the question, did I make a mistake? And for many, the answer quietly becomes yes. That's when the giving up begins. Maybe they start skipping training sessions. Maybe they rehome the dog. Maybe they just check out emotionally, even if the dog stays. But I didn't. I didn't give up. Even when it got hard. Even when I was ready to. Even when the dog I loved started to feel like a burden I couldn't handle. And if you're watching this video, I know one thing already, you don't want to give up either. But to survive this journey, to come out stronger, connected, and in control, you need to understand why so many Malinois owners fail in the first place. Let's start there. Most people assume Malinois are just high energy. That they're like other dogs, just a little more intense. A little faster. A little smarter. But that's not the truth. The truth is, they're relentless. Not for a few hours. Not for a phase. Every single day. From the moment they wake up, to the moment they drop, they need stimulation, structure, leadership. And if they don't get it, they self-destruct. And take your household with them. That's what breaks people. Not the barking or the bites, but the consistency it demands. Because this isn't a breed that settles down with time. It's a breed that gets worse if you ignore its needs. That's what no one told me when I started. They told me it would be hard. They didn't tell me it would take over my life. And I almost gave up too. I remember the day I snapped. I'd done everything right. Early socialization. Basic obedience. Enrichment toys. You name it. And still, my Malinois was wild. Biting. Screaming. Tearing through the house like a tornado with a mission. I broke down. Sat on the floor and cried. Wondered what I was doing wrong. But that moment, that was the turning point. Because what I realized was this, the problem wasn't my dog. It was my mindset. I was trying to train a Belgian Malinois like you'd train a regular dog. I was giving love. But not leadership. Structure. But not purpose. Commands. But not clarity. And most of all, I wasn't treating this like a lifestyle. I was treating it like a project I could fix. That's why people give up. Because this breed forces you to change who you are. To be calm when you're angry. Disciplined when you're tired. Confident when you're doubting everything. It forces you to lead. And once I leaned into that, everything changed. I stopped training my dog with frustration, and started training with presence. I built a schedule and stuck to it, no matter what. I gave him a job. Every day. Whether it was obedience reps, scent games, treadmill work, or structured play. And slowly, the chaos faded. The connection came back. I began to understand my dog, and more importantly, he began to trust me. Not just as someone who fed him, but as someone who could handle him. And that's the real reason most Malinois owners give up. Not because the dog is too much, but because they never learned how to become enough. But if you're willing to grow, if you're willing to change your habits, your energy, your commitment, your Malinois will meet you in that space, and become the dog you always dreamed of. So here's what I want you to do. If this story resonated, comment below, I'm not giving up. And if you're in that dark place right now, where the chaos is louder than the connection, know this, you're not alone. We've all been there. But what separates the quitters from the ones who make it? It's not knowledge. It's not skill. It's not experience. It's refusing to quit. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. If you want to see what finally worked for me, how I turned my out-of-control Malinois into the partner I always hoped for, check the links in the description. I've broken down the exact daily structure I use, step by step. But just remember, this dog isn't broken. They're waiting for you to become the person they need. Don't give up. They're worth it. And so are you.